Hello and welcome one and all to my very first ever live chat. This is weird. I normally don't do these by myself. I normally either join AJ and Matt for their live, so it's kind of weird doing everything for the first time through Streamlabs by myself. So, hi, welcome to my very first live chat. As you can tell by the banner here, I'm roughly going to try and make it 2 hours long. We will see. It would all really depend on the amount of engagement that I get and if he can get me to ramble for quite a while. But if you hear music in the background, that is because I have put on some Pokemon lo-fi in the background just so it's just not me talking for a while. So that at least if there's something in the background, I went with the lo-fi because it's very unlikely that I will get hit with a copyright takedown. Hopefully. So I do see that there are some comments already in, so I will of course get to them. So starting off with when I actually scheduled this. So when I scheduled it on Friday, Danny from This Is My Life commented saying that he's looking forward to this. So I don't know if he's popped in or not. So hopefully we will. But I do see one from Gil. Hello. He says, "Hi, Michael. Glad to see you. Welcome into my very first ever attempt at a live stream. I don't know how well this is going to go, but we will see." And then I see AJ saying, "Hello, Michael. Hello, AJ. Thank you for coming in." As well, he says, "I can't hear the music anyhow, mate," which is I had it turned down anyway, so I'll probably put that up a bit. So do let me know if you can hear it now, so it's just not me talking. So feel free to ask me any and all questions as I will try to answer them. I suppose I will talk about what's upcoming, uh, what content is upcoming for the rest of this month, because as I've mentioned a few times in other people's lives, I've been scheduling out my videos in advance. Like I will come up with what I plan to create in a given month. And for this week coming, starting tomorrow, there will be 3 videos. So tomorrow's video, it will be a video going over my top 5 favorite starship classes from Star Trek. And then on Wednesday, I'll have a unprompted, unscripted review, which wasn't initially in the plans, but after watching this movie, uh, I loved it that much that I ended up making a 13-minute review for it. When if you've seen my unscripted reviews, they're normally anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. So that tells you how much I enjoyed the movie. And then as well, for AJ, since I know he's still here, on Friday is when my unscripted review for Jaws will be released. So I do see some comments. So AJ says, "Yes, I have a question. You know what it is." Yes, I do. My favorite Star Trek movie of all time is First Contact. You will not get me to say that it's Rathacon. You know me, AJ. You know I will. You better put up them fists because I will fist fight you on this. You can catch these hands. Um, let's see, who else do we have? We have Gil here asking, "What was the first movie you saw that you loved?" It's kind of hard to really say, thinking that back that far because I have shit memory. Like I barely remember getting up this morning, but I believe it was a lot of those kids movies from back then. Mainly Harry Potter and Power Rangers, Thomas the Tank Engine, that type of stuff. For like in my early years. So we do actually have Danny from This Is My Life. Hello, Danny. Glad to actually have you in. Um, AJ is happy that I'm doing Jaws because he's been telling me for quite a while to watch this movie, and after I actually watched it, the very next day, I went out and upgraded my DVD copy to Blu-ray. So Danny says, never seen Jaws. Highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. I am astounded that it's taken me this long to even watch it, and I fell in love with this movie. I'm staying away from the sequels, even though I own them. I will definitely be staying away from them because I have not heard the nicest things. I know AJ has said, Jaws 2 is all right, and from looking at the cast, it brings some of the original cast back from the first Jaws movie, but I'll still probably give him a miss. And AJ saying that he should watch it. Um, he says, Danny says, First Contact, Generations for me. I can see that. I can see why Generations is a lot of people's favorite next gen movie. I do enjoy it, but it's First Contact for me, and it's always going to be First Contact. So AJ also says, what is your favorite Star Trek uniform style? This is a tough question. There's a lot of uniform styles that I like. I like the uniforms from the Rathacon after that until next gen, because I think those costumes look the best out of it. It looks real nice. I even love the updated design that they done in the spoiler alert for those who haven't seen Strange New Worlds. I'm giving you 5 seconds to click out for this before I spoil it, but that's your warning. I love the kind of new take on it that we got to see in the end of Strange New Worlds. I thought it looked great. It is probably my favorite uniform. I do like the two-piece uniform from Next Gen onwards when it's not just the tight one-piece uniform. And then I do like the Dominion style uniform where it's only the collar that shows the class that they are in, and the as well then just the gray after that. So those are my picks. See, Danny has also said, lol, I've never watched any shark movie. I don't think I have, apart from when I watched Jaws, and I really did enjoy Jaws. I think I gave it 4.5 on my Letterboxd account, which I should probably start linking in my description so you can see what movies I'm watching. AJ giving another recommendation of Deep Blue Sea. Watch that also. I will keep an eye out for that, definitely. And Danny saying, but favorite uniform is the gray one from the Enterprise E. Yes, that is the one I mentioned there, the Dominion War uniform. And then we have Mac tonight saying, hello, Michael. Hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming. If it's shaking, it's because of the tripod I'm using. I'm using my ring light, and it is not very sturdy. But Danny is also commented saying, my dad bought me up a Kirk series. Why this is my favorite movie. I could see that, yeah. Mac saying Die Hard is a Star Trek movie and Star Trek 4 is the best Star Trek movie. Okay, so if you don't know, early on this week I was on Playtendo Guy's live stream, and one of the things that came up was talking about how Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and I said Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, and I will stick to my guns on that. I will legit stick to my guns. I won't argue with it because I don't see a point. It's a matter of opinion, and to me. So you might say that it's a Christmas movie. I don't think it's a Christmas movie. We'll just have to agree to disagree. As for Star Trek 4 is the best Star Trek film, I would say it's the best of the original series movies. obviously, because I'm biased with First Contact in that, but I definitely think Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home is better than the Wrath of Khan. Yeah, I honestly really do think that it is better than the Wrath of Khan, in my opinion. So let's see. Danny saying afternoon Mac. AJ saying for me it's the Wrath of Khan to the undiscovered country uniforms, which I do agree. Like I said, those are my favorites as well. I absolutely love those uniforms. Um, so Mac is saying hi to Danny. AJ is also saying hi to Mac. They're talking back and forth. Danny saying Die Hard, Terminator, Alien, never watched. Don't worry, I'm in the same boat. I point blank now refuse to watch Die Hard. The more people try and argue it's a Christmas movie, the more I'm inclined not to watch it. As for Terminator and Alien, I haven't watched either of them as well. I might do so in the future. I'm definitely eyeing this Alien Blu-ray box set that has the first 4 films in it in my local CEX for like 18 or so euro. I see. I think AJ is shocked at something. I don't know what it is. If it's about Danny's comment or about me saying that the Voyage Home is better than Wrath of Khan. Yeah, Mark is saying you are great on Playtendo Guy stream. Thank you very much. It does mean a lot. I'm still new to doing these lives. I've only done. This is technically my 6th live, as I done 4, I believe, with AJ and Matt, and then 1 with Playtendo. Now this is my solo stream. So yes, you will get a lot of juicy goss that's coming up with the content, not only for this month and potentially December, but ideas that I'm toying with for the new year, because I am planning a lot of great content in the new year. A lot of different review style series to come alongside with continuing on the unscripted reviews. So, AJ saying Danny, all great films. I might say so for Terminator and Alien, but definitely not for Die Hard. Mark is saying that Danny's missing out on some great films. Sure, yeah. If you want to not include Die Hard, yeah, he probably is. Um, Danny saying I need a therapy after not seeing those movies. AJ, yeah. So Gail is asking, what is my very favorite film? Well, I have a top 3, and I might not know what's in my top 10 because that is forever changing, but I can definitely give you my top 3 because this list has not changed at all. And so I'll go in reverse order. So my third pick is actually a kind of biopic. It's the Beatles biopic called Nowhere Boy, and I love it to death. Like I seen a trailer for it a couple of years back, and then I recorded it on Sky when I still had Sky, and I watched it and I fell in love with it because it shows how John Lennon got into the music that he was into. Not only that, but it shows his relationship with his Aunt Mimi and his mother, and how that happened, and how it was his mother who introduced him to the likes of Elvis and that, as well as the early formations of the Quarrymen, which was the band before the Beatles, and then it ends with the formation of the Beatles as they go off to Germany. So that's that's my third favorite film. My second favorite film is one I've already been talking about, and that is Star Trek: First Contact. I love the Borg. I love this movie. It's visually amazing. The brand new ship classes, the Sovereign class, the Steamrunner class, the Akira class, all brilliant ships. For some odd reason, during the Battle of Sector 001, Starfleet still threw Oberth classes at them. Haven't they not learned from Star Trek 3? When a Klingon bird of prey destroyed an Oberth class with its shields up in one blast, and yet they flung it at the Borg twice. That doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, Star Trek 2 is my second favorite film of all time and my favorite Star Trek film of all time. And my number one favorite film of all time, that is Howl's Moving Castle. So it's a Studio Ghibli or Ghibli, however the fuck you want to say it. And it's a very beautiful film. Visually beautiful film. Story, very, very good. It's about this girl who doesn't think she's beautiful. She doesn't think she has any good qualities. And because she had a chance encounter with this wizard named Howl, this witch who's trying to find Howl bewitches her and turns her into a old woman. So while she tries to go out and find a cure for this, she ends up finding Howl in his moving castle, hence the title Howl's Moving Castle. And it's through the movie and all of this stuff that's also has a lead up to a big war, that Howl shows Sophie, who's the main character, that there's a lot more to life than that she is beautiful. And the more she's starting to fall in love with Howl, the more she's starting to see herself as beautiful, she starts to revert back to her old self. So it's a very interesting movie, and I'd highly recommend it, as it is my favorite film. I watch it every few years, and I absolutely adore it. So now that I've rambled on a bit, let's get back to some of these comments. So AJ says, "Great films, mate. They won't disappoint." And Danny says, "Mac, you're not wrong there." And then we have a new person in, Baked Beans Barry. AJ, watch and review Schindler's List properly. I believe this might be my first. I think that I don't know if this is someone who's constantly going into AJ's lives and needs to go out and touch grass. I could be wrong. If I am, I do apologize. But I watched Schindler's List for the first time myself recently. I thought it was good. Bit long, definitely. I had to watch it online because the DVD that I had was 2 hours long and not 3 hours long. So I don't know if the DVD version just cuts out an hour. But I enjoyed it. Let's see. We have, what if they don't write First Contact if the timeline changed? I did make a video about this, kind of. I made a what if scenario video of basically saying why when Q introduced the Federation to the Borg, that it saved them in a sense, mainly with the Dominion War. So I'd recommend go checking it out. I'd done 2 versions of it. One that I didn't go into a hell of a lot of detail, and then one through AJ's comment. I then went and expanded on that and made it a little bit more fuller than I did previously. And just okay. So looking at these comments from Baked Beans Barry, I think it is who I think it is. So let me just block that user. So all those comments have been removed. So yeah. Now we have another comment saying, "I have to disagree, but never watched it. I've heard it's a Christmas film for Die Hard." It's debatable. It is very debatable. I'm on the side that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, and a lot of people definitely do see it as a Christmas movie. So, yeah, Danny's saying, "Hey AJ, there's a spam in chat, which I have taken care of. They have been blocked. They need to go out and touch grass, but guaranteed they'll be back shortly with a brand new account, as they always are in AJ's stream." AJ saying, "You seem to like it, mate. You're always watching. How so? Like, okay, so this is basically AJ responding to this person. Um, hey, please stop picking on AJ in chat, which true, please do. Um, Danny says, Michael's first live stream. How often do you plan to go live? I don't know. Is the honest answer. I've been toying with the idea of going live for a while now, and I just finally decided to do it. Um, it's kind of hard to schedule it in because I plan my content out so far in advance. Like I said, I have the rest of this month planned out, and I have all of December's planned out. I haven't even started working on December's videos yet because I'm actually waiting to put up my Christmas tree to potentially start on that. But I'll see. I might do something different this time. For the unscripted reviews, they might just be audio only. Instead of just it being me and sitting in front of my bookcase. So Edison, and when I spoke about what I spoke about was sales of physical media and how okay uh, we had that discussion yesterday, and anyhow you need to tell me how I seem arrogant. Baked beans and Barry's. Please leave AJ alone. I don't know if they're still in chat because I have them blocked. So the comments don't seem to be coming up. So please do let me know if he is still in chat, and I will have it fixed with a couple of moderators for the next time I go stream. So this is my life saying it would be amazing to do an Enterprise F series or E. They are bringing the Odyssey class USS Enterprise NCC 1701F in for Picard season 3, which I'm all happy for because it was a Star Trek Online only ship for the longest time. It was beta canon. Now it is canon. So I do hope that they do an Enterprise F series, but maybe not for another couple of years. We've had quite a few series centered around the Enterprise. I think it's time we hear about other important starships in Star Trek other than ships named Enterprise. So, talking about more. Sorry if I'm skipping this. It's just there seems to be a bit of back and forth going on between a troll. So AJ saying it's okay. This is uneducated individual. If he wants to spend his day setting up account after account to try and get to me, let him. Which, as I said, that individual severely needs to go and touch grass. Isn't going to stop me doing what I do. And good on you, AJ, for that. Like, I love your content, and I wouldn't want to see it being changed just to please certain individuals who so only girlfriend has been this hand right here. So Gail Barr says Howl's Moving Castle is great. My favorite Studio Ghibli film is Spirited Away. I still have yet to watch Spirited Away. I own it on DVD, but that's kind of bringing me to a little teaser for the new year. I've mentioned it in, I think, AJ and Matt's stream as well as Playtendo Guy's stream, where I, in the new year, plan to rework one of the series that I attempted to do last month or the month before, where that series was called First Viewings, where I would pick a movie that I hadn't seen at random and review it. Whereas this new series is going to be called something similar to Tales of the Backlog, where I will go and try to take a big chunk out of my backlog of movies, because there's still a lot of great movies that I haven't seen, like Lord of the Rings, or Pulp Fiction, or Fight Club, or hell, Aliens and Terminators, which we were talking about earlier on in this stream. I hadn't seen any of those. But with this new series, I'm going to be doing my best to take a huge chunk out of my backlog, so Let's see. Okay, so it seems that even though I think even though since I blocked Baked Beans Barry, um, I think they're still commenting in chat. Could someone please let me know? You are right, Michael. It is my stalker, for want of a better term. I'd call him an incel, but yeah, stalker seems to work as well. Um, he'll be back under a different name very soon. I'd say he will be, and if he does, I will just block him. Danny says I will watch Die Hard and make a decision on this. I mean, I'm not going to stop you. Like, just because I don't want to watch the movie doesn't mean you don't have to. Like, it seems to be, it is a beloved franchise that a lot of people have invested in. I mean, if it wasn't as successful, it wouldn't have had all the spin-offs that it has. AJ saying apologies for Michael. You don't need to worry about that. I kind of half expected it. To be quite honest with you, I definitely did expect for one of your trolls to somehow migrate into my stream. But yeah, if it happens again, I'll block them, and in future streams, I will just have moderators on to snipe them before I even see them. AJ says, anyway, I must pop out now, pick up my father, have a great chat. I will catch up later. Thank you for stopping in, AJ. I really appreciate it. And I hope to have you on stream as well at some point if I can schedule it in advance. Maybe in the new year. This is just a test, and I know I said I was going to try and do it for 2 hours, but I'm conscious of my phone battery percentage as I don't have a charger on hand, as it is at currently 56%. So I mightn't even get the full 2 hours out of it, which I did kind of mention that I mightn't get the full 2 hours. So Danny saying, AJ, enjoy the rest of your weekend. AJ's thanking him, and AJ saying you deleted after the message. You're reading mine, mate. Okay. Danny says, but who would make captain of the Enterprise F? That is going to be interesting. I don't think it will be someone from the TNG crew, because I know in beta canon, Worf became captain of the Enterprise E. Now we don't know what happened to the Enterprise E, whether she was destroyed in battle or decommissioned, but I definitely think and kind of hope that it will be someone new, someone that we don't know that we get to meet for the first time. It could well be that it is, Worf or Geordi or someone, might even be Riker, or hell, it might even be someone that we know but hasn't been confirmed that they are showing up. So I don't know. I definitely hope that it is someone new. Danny says, I watch AJ's content daily and love what he does. I do too. Like, I'll watch the odd occasional video. Like, I know later on today he has a pickups video that is going live. I will definitely be watching that. Danny also says, have you watched any Yu-Gi-Oh? If so, which series is your favorite? I remember the first time that game was introduced. Showing my age now. Hey, I'm the same. I was around when the original Yu-Gi-Oh anime came out, the 4Kids dub, back in the early 2000s. I'll be 25 next year. So I have seen all of the original series, all of Yu-Gi-Oh GX, a handful of episodes from 5Ds, a handful of episodes from Zexal, all of Arc 5, maybe an episode 2 of Reigns, and the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. So, which is my favorite? Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I have done a video about that. It's a re-upload from my old Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube channel, where I basically talk about the first 3 seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and why it's my favorite. I will definitely need to go back to that and do a new video on that where I cover Series 4 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. But my absolute favorite is Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, followed by Arc 5. I really did enjoy Arc 5. Not a lot of people do, but I definitely do enjoy Arc 5. Let's see what we have. We have The Monkeys in Morning. What's your favorite Christmas film? My favorite Christmas film is Jim Carrey's A Christmas Carol. It was the very first Christmas video I ever done on this channel because in about a week, on the 22nd of this month, this channel will be exactly 1 year old. Kind of. The rebrand will be a year old. This channel is actually technically 2 years old. But yeah, it was the very first Christmas video I ever done, and I just love it. It's one of my it slowly became my favorite over the years. It used to be Home Alone 2, but as I thought about it and as I rewatched it last year, it was definitely Jim Carrey's A Christmas Carol, because I'm looking over at my bookshelf at it right now because I do have the Blu-ray of it. So, Danny says, I've never watched Die Hard before, but not too interested in the others. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like me with A Nightmare on Elm Street. No, for Halloween, I watched it for the first time. I'm half tempted to give the other films a go, but I kind of not. We'll see. Because I kind of put out a feeler asking people, how they felt with the others, and I didn't get a clear enough answer for me to, continue on. Danny says, I need to make you a mod on my next live, Michael. If you want to, I would definitely do that, and thank you for that. I'll definitely make you a mod on my streams moving forward. I might do another one sometime in December, and then I will probably try and schedule them in for frequently enough in the new year, depending on how this one goes. Which it's going great. I actually am getting a lot more comments than I expected. To be quite honest, a half hour in, and I'll definitely try and get guests on in the future as well. So thank you for the offer. I will gladly accept being mod. When was Enterprise F made? I'm going to answer this in two ways. I'm going to answer it the lore way, and I'm going to answer it in the non-lore way. So I'll start with the non-lore way. When Star Trek Online first came out, they had a competition to design the newest Enterprise, and it was a competition, and fans submitted their designs, and the Odyssey class won out. Obviously, they then redesigned it slightly when implementing it into the game, and that's what we got was the Enterprise F. The lore perspective of it is, well, in Alpha Canon, we don't know how that came, the Odyssey class as well as the Enterprise F came about. Whereas in the Beta Canon, we do know from Star Trek Online, where the Odyssey classes were an experimental class. There'd only been a few, and at this point, the Enterprise E, I think, was decommissioned. So they obviously wanted to have the Enterprise out there with this new flagship, and so they went obviously the Enterprise F. And there was a captain, an Andorian captain, who lost his ship during the Klingon War in Beta Canon, and he was then granted to become captain of the Enterprise F. So that's how it came about in both lore and non-lore ways. How old is the TNG crew, and is Picard series what Enterprise would be in it? Well, the TNG crew are their real world age counterparts now, kind of slightly changed. But with the Enterprise, we do know for Series 3 of Picard that the Enterprise F is showing up for the very first time. Who's captaining it? We don't know yet. We'll have to wait until the new year to find out. The monkey says, in need of AARP. Okay. This is my life saying, my mate rang up saying, you must watch this Yu-Gi-Oh! He played Blue Eyes and I played Dark Magician. Okay. Those are decent enough decks. This was in the time before smartphones, lol. Yeah, I remember those times. I got my first smartphone in 2012 when I was 14. So that's when I got my first one. Who's your favorite actor or actress? Okay, the list is endless for this because there's so many people that I love. Like Jim Carrey, for example. I love him. Like some of my I know somewhere in my top 10 favorite movies, The Truman Show and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind rely because those are some great performances, as well as I grew up on him in other films like Liar Liar, The Mask, Bruce Almighty, that type of stuff. If we're talking about Star Trek, obviously I love Sir Patrick Stewart, Brent Spiner, Michael Dorn, all the TNG cast, as well as all the Voyager cast. You know, Kate Mulgrew. I absolutely adore Kate Mulgrew. And then with Doctor Who, you're looking at Billie Piper, Tom Baker, stuff like that. So as well, Colin Meaney. Colin Meaney is my favorite Irish actor because I've been kind of on an Irish movie kick recently, where I've been watching a bunch of different Irish movies, and 3 of those Irish movies that I watched had him in it. So yeah, as well, Brendan Gleeson, another fantastic Irish actor. Absolutely love him as both Mad Eye Moody and just as the comic that he is in other stuff. So the monkey says Blue Eyes is a good card, very pretty. Yeah, depending on the rarity that you go, I have owned quite a few of the Blue Eyes rarities. I actually own a so Danny, if you're still listening, I have a complete Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon card set upstairs. I have it. I have every single card that was printed in Legend of Blue Eyes in mixed rarity, mixed conditions, and mixed reprints. Because if you play Yu-Gi-Oh, you know it's been reprinted a hell of a. Legend of Blue Eyes has been reprinted a hell of a lot lately, over the years since it came out 20 years ago now. Jesus Christ, it has been 20 years. Wow, I'm old. I'm fucking old. Anyway, my favorite artwork obviously is the anime artwork that was used, and my favorite rarity of it is obviously the ultimate rare that was printed. It also looks nice in ghost rare. I definitely do say. Then he says, I joined a few years ago. It took a lot of courage to get in front of the camera, as my first videos were behind the camera. I was actually thinking about this the other day, and here's my unofficial advice for those who want to create content. Do whatever you feel comfortable with. Because as Danny says here, he wasn't comfortable being in front of the camera, so he was behind the camera. Do that. If that's what you're comfortable with, do that. I know Matt over at Matt's V's Movies, he didn't talk in a lot of his. And he was behind the camera on a lot of those. And look at him now. He's at nearly 400 subscribers. And Danny is near 200 subscribers. Whereas for me, I've always been on front of the camera for the 11 plus years that I've been posting on YouTube on so many different YouTube channels. Dear God, this is just the latest iteration. I have 2 channels, by the way. I have this channel, obviously, and I have a vlogging channel, which it's all right. I mean, I post weekly vlogs and daily vlogs every now and again. But yeah, so do whatever you feel comfortable with. If that's doing text to speech or just doing text on screen, do it. As well, like your phone, like you don't need to worry about buying these expensive cameras to do YouTube videos. Your phone can do so much. If you get a decent enough phone that has a decent enough camera quality, you're way in a hat. Like this phone, the phone that I'm doing the stream off of is a Google Pixel 6. The front-facing camera, which is what I'm using right now, records up into 1080p, 30 frames a second. The back camera on this phone can shoot up into 4K quality, which has boosted not only my quality over the past 6 months that I've had this phone, because I'm constantly posting videos now in 4K, thereabouts. There are times where they're not in 4K. As well, your phone can edit videos. Like I've been editing on so many different softwares. I've done editing on Windows Movie Maker all the way up to Adobe Premiere Pro. Fuck Adobe, by the way. I'm never paying for their software ever again. Anyways, so on the App Store, on both iOS App Store and Android App Store, there's a brilliant editing software called CapCut. So that's the editing software that I use, been using a lot more frequently, is CapCut. So yeah, those are some of my unofficial advice for that was not really asked about starting YouTube. Just do whatever you feel comfortable with and use CapCut as an editing software. It's very user-friendly. Not sponsored, by the way. So let's get back to some of these comments. What is your worst experience in CEX? Wow. I do have quite a few of these. Let me just take a quick sup of my drink here. I've had a lot of bad experiences in my local CEX over the years. Only recently, as I got to know the staff there and have become friends with them, that those experiences have happened less. But recent enough, it was either last year or the year before the pandemic. I can't remember if it was before the pandemic or in the middle of the pandemic. But I wanted to trade in my Google Chrome because I was using it to watch Star Trek Discovery, but I didn't necessarily have a use for it. So I used it the night before. It worked perfectly. So I go down, I book it in to be tested. I await the 40 or so minutes. I can't remember if it was 40 minutes or an hour. And I go back and they're like, yeah, sorry, we can't take this. And I'm like, okay, why? And they were like, well, we can get it connected to the internet, but we can't cast up. And I'm like, huh. And in my head, I was thinking, what's the bet that as soon as I bring this home, reset it back up to my internet, that I'm going to get it to work no problem? Sure enough, sure as shit, that's what happened. I went home, pissed off, and I hooked it up to my TV that is right behind me. I set it back up, and I was able to cast up to from my phone up to it. And I've been using it ever since because I wasn't going to trade it back in. Another bad experience that I had was back years ago that I just remembered as I was telling that story. So I went to trade in my mother's old tablet. She wasn't using it anymore. I wasn't using it. I think I would have gone like 10 or 20 euro for it because it was a generic Android tablet. So I bring it down to them. I book it in for the test. And I then go to see if they'll take it in. And she says, sorry, we had to fail this because when we went to check the camera went all weird. That there was green, it went green, the screen went green and that. And so she went to go and try and show me. As she tried to, the camera came up no problem, as if there was no issues. It's like, oh, it looks like the camera's working now. We still can't take this in though, because that issue came up during testing. So what did I do? I brought it to their then competitor at the time called SmartSpot. And back when I used to collect video games, I built up quite a good relationship with that establishment. And they took it no problem, gave me what I was asking for, which was what I was going to get in CEX. And there's no issue. So I have had a lot of worse experiences in CEX, but a lot lately I've been getting recently I've been having nothing but positive experiences there. Mainly because, like I said, I know the people that's worked there and they're, pretty honest with me. So we have Ian Hill, the Rambling, saying, "Hi everyone, hope you're all well." Hello, Ian. Thank you for coming into my live stream. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, I hope to have you on a live at some point in the near future. So Gil has said, Wes Cavan wrote Nightmare 3, Dream Warrior, and did New Nightmare. They are the best ones after the original. Thank you for that. I'll definitely look into those in the near future. I'll definitely give those a watch to see how the rest of the Nightmare on Elm Street series continues. Danny says, "Hi Ian, hope you're well." Ian responds. Danny says to Ian, "Yes, thanks Ian. What do you think is happening with Star Trek for new series?" I'm going to answer this, even though this was directed at Ian. I think, and I've been saying it since Discovery, I think we really are in a golden age of Star Trek. Because let's look at this. Back when Star Trek went into hiatus, we didn't know if we were ever going to see Star Trek again. And it wasn't until, obviously, the big boom with the Kelvin timeline films, directed by J.J. Abrams, that we really saw the resurgence in Star Trek that allowed Paramount to bring back Discovery. Now, controversial opinion, in air quotes here, I love Discovery. I rewatched it last year before it was taken off of Netflix, or it was the year before. It was the year before because no, it was before season 4 came out. Before Paramount pissed me off to no end. I'll get to that. But with season 1, I definitely changed my mind on it after, because when it first came out, I loved it. After rewatching it, I do see all the issues that people have had with it. The Klingon designs that I used to like, now I don't like them as much, but they're still all right for like in a reimagining. The Klingon War aspect was okay. I definitely hated how they wrapped it up within 2 episodes, whereas I think they should have at least stayed in the Mirror Universe for longer than they did, instead of trying to, or even extend the Klingon War slightly into the second season. Instead of trying to wrap everything up as quickly as possible. I love Picard. I love Prodigy. I love Lower Decks. Lower Decks took me a while to get into. I can't lie. It took me quite a while to get into Lower Decks. The first season I didn't like. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like the first season until the very last episode. And then with season 2, I loved, and season 3, I loved. So, and then of course with Strange New Worlds, I love that too. I love that more than any of the other Star Treks, because as a lot of people say, and they are right, it feels Star Trek. We don't know what other plans that they have for the future. Rumor has it that there's going to be another TNG movie, which, hey, I'll be happy with. We don't know what the fuck's happening with that Section 35 show. That's been announced for a while. We don't know if that's been canned or if it's going to be turned into a movie or what the fuck is happening. They still say it's coming, and then we don't know what else is coming. Potential Starfleet show. I'd love a Captain Janeway series, or an Admiral Janeway, I should say now. I'd love a Janeway series, or even 7 of 9. But yeah, I kind of hitchhiked this, so I do apologize. Danny says, "I love Colin Meaney in movies. I have him in a movie called 3 and Out." I have not heard of that. I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. Danny, I would recommend, if you haven't seen it already, but I would recommend the Irish film Parked. That is the full version is on YouTube. But it's going to be the unscripted review that comes out on Wednesday. So I'd watch it up until the 11-minute mark, because that's when I talk about spoilers. If you want to get a feel for what the movie's about, but I highly recommend it, as well to everyone, because I really did love that movie. The monkey was saying, I was saying, the crew mentioned in old is old enough. They are needed in need of AARP. Ask anyone older, they will explain. Okay, I'll definitely do that. And we have Matt in here, or I don't know if he's still here, but he says, hi all, got to pop out in a bit, but just popped in to say hi. Hello, Matt. Not sure if you're still here, but thank you for popping into the live. I really do appreciate it. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're not working today. Hope you just, have time off to enjoy yourself and watch a good few movies. Danny says, I'm the same, Michael. I have a ton of blue eyes. Too. I think he's talking about Legend of Blue Eyes. As I mentioned, I have a complete set. That was a passion project I had from sometime last year that I completed this year. Danny says, lol, Michael, you're not old. I'm 31. I didn't peg you to be 31. I thought you would be about 25, 26. So there's something for you. You look younger than you are. Danny's, of course, saying hi to Matt V's movie. The Monkeys is happy to see Matt. Ian says, Michael, do you think, I think he means, what do you think is the worst Doctor Who episode? For me, it's got to be the Gunfighters. William Hartnell can hardly save it. The damn song, it makes the Twin Dilemma look like a masterpiece. I have not seen Gunsling. I tried watching the Twin Dilemma because I used to have it, but I got rid of it years ago. But for me, I'm going for a modern Doctor Who pick. As well, I'll do both. I'll do modern Doctor Who and classic Doctor Who, because my classic Doctor Who pick might upset you, Ian. So my classic Doctor Who pick for the worst episode of Doctor Who, Genesis of the Daleks. Put down your pitchfork. Let me explain. I find this episode boring. It's so boring. It's 6 episodes long. You could easily cut it down to 4. It did not need to be 6 episodes long. Yes, while I do like the fact that it introduces us finally to the creator of the Daleks, and it is kind of a precursor to the Time War, before the Time War was even a thing. But I still just don't like it. I've seen it twice. I own it, and I just think it's boring. It is the biggest pile of shite I've ever seen. As for New Who, I'm going to say my least favorite New Who episode is Eve of the Daleks, or as I tend to refer to it as, Eve of the Shite, because Chris Chibnall wrote that episode in 2 weeks. And it shows. This isn't the first time it's been like that. The series 11 finale, however the fuck you say that was a first draft script. So that was also shit. I was originally going to say something like Orphan 55 or Praxeus from series 12, but after watching Eve of the Daleks, I've only ever watched it the once, and I'm only ever going to watch it the once. It is an episode I'm never going to return to. Whereas with Genesis of the Daleks, I might give it another go in the future. But we'll have to wait and see for that. Danny says, because I have a disability with my voice, I would have joined sooner. Don't gotta worry about that, mate. That's perfectly fine. Matt is saying hi to Monkey. And Danny says, what was everyone's first physical media movie they picked up? That's kind of hard to say, because there's been so much of it. But what got me back into collecting physical media, I'm gonna have to say it was when I rebought on DVD the Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie 2004 Pyramid of Light. That's what got me back into collecting, seeing how cheap it was, and then of course, going out finding movies that I actually wanted, loved, for as cheap as they were. And now I have nearly 600 DVDs and Blu-rays in my collection, spanning TV shows and movies, and I love it. I love doing it. If it wasn't for getting into this, I wouldn't be as close to a near modern Doctor Who set as I am. I'm missing the 2008 Christmas special. I'm missing Flux. I'm missing Eve of the Daleks and Legend of the Sea Devils, and then I'm complete, up to date, and I can start getting more classic Doctor Who, because I've been so focused on trying to build up my modern Doctor Who collection that AJ has graciously helped as well. He was in earlier. He sent me for free the complete series 2 of Doctor Who on volumes recently. I made a video on that, as well as he sent me early on this year the complete series 5 of Doctor Who on volumes on Blu-ray. So it was a Blu-ray upgrade for me. So yeah. The monkey says, Matt, have you bought eggs? Not yet. Okay. Ian saying hi to Matt, as well as to Monkey. And then Danny says, I'm the same as you, Michael. I had bought an Xbox, but it wouldn't load, so I waited an hour for them to check, but luckily they refunded me. Yes. I've even had issues where I bought something and it didn't work. Like back when I used to collect video games, I bought the very first model Xbox 360, and I was sent the 360 itself, but I was given a wired controller when I didn't buy it discounted, but I was given a wired controller, and they only do that if it's discounted. I was also for the plug, I was given an Xbox One plug, not a 360 plug, so I couldn't even plug in. So I brought it down and got my money back, thankfully. The monkey says, what is my favorite animal? I have a good few. The list is long. I love cats. I love dogs. I love koala bears. I love leopards, cheetahs, big cats essentially. And yeah, those are some of my favorite animals. Thank you for that question. Not many people ask that question. A very interesting one. Gil has to go. So thank you for coming in for the stream. I'm pretty sure you've left by now, but thank you for those questions. And I hope to see you soon on my next live. The monkey says, just responding to Ian. So This Is My Life says, can you get Part on Blu-ray or DVD? Part is on DVD, yes. I have it on DVD. I don't think there is a Blu-ray of it, but it came out in 2010, so there could be a Blu-ray of it. But if you want to give it a shot anyway, like I said, the full version is on YouTube. If you just looked up Part, it should come up. We have Mike Hunt. He's saying, hi brother, how you doing? I'm all right. Hope you're doing well. We have This Is My Life saying, I'm a massive Doctor Who collector, been collecting for years. I've been collecting on and off for years. Back when I was broke, I traded in a lot of my collection. So I then, of course, through collecting physical media, I've regained my collection, even surpassed what it was when my mother was still alive. Because when she was alive, we had up as far as series 6, and as well as a couple of classic episodes. Now I have a bunch of classic episodes, and as I mentioned, a near complete modern Doctor Who set. So we have Masters of the 80s saying, hi mate, how's things? Hello, thank you for coming into the live. I have to say, I've been really loving those 80s VHS Blu-rays, that series that you've been doing. Those are very interesting. I never knew they existed. They definitely do look pretty good. I need to keep an eye out for those. They weren't a thing over here, because HMV closed like 10 years ago over here. So I'll probably have to get them on eBay, or because I don't even know if I could get them on my local CEX. But if you haven't go over to let me try and get this right. No, wait. Yeah, go over to Masters of the 80s. Subscribe to them. They were showcasing recently the HMV VHS Blu-ray collection. They look amazing, so I highly recommend it. Danny says maybe we can meet up in Ireland next year. Do you need a passport, as I don't have one? You would, yes. You would need a passport to come over here, since the UK is no longer part of the EU. You would need to come get one. I know, like, flying on Ryanair is pretty cheap. You can get a flight for like 20 quid. I know that's how much I've paid when I went over to visit my dad a few times. It's about like 20 quid, and then an extra 10 or less than 10, I think, to add on carry-on. Ian says, have you seen Blake 7? Highly recommend it. I've heard of it. I've heard of it being mentioned a lot lately. I haven't. I definitely should look into that. It's definitely something I've been hearing a hell of a lot more lately. So I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. The Monkey says, what film genre do you enjoy the least? Horror. I'm not a big horror guy. I like some of them. Like I love the Paranormal Activity series. I love the Final Destination series. But that's as far as I would go. Like, it's very rare that I'll actually say, oh, I feel like sticking on a horror movie, compared to something like, oh, I feel like sticking on a comedy, or I feel like sticking on an animated film, or something like that. So yeah, horror is my least favorite. Danny says, hi, Masters. If you put the link down, I'll subscribe. I'll definitely try and do that if I remember. Masters of the 80 says, thanks for the kind words, mate, and thanks for watching the videos. Hey, it's something that VHS has been something I've been really wanting to get back, like, collecting, because I'm actually looking at my very small VHS collection right now. I have the first Harry Potter film on VHS that I found in a charity shop. It's just the tape. Well, it's tape and the clamshell, but the cover art was ripped off, including the plastic around it. If it still had the plastic, I would have obviously printed out a replacement art to stick onto it. And then I also have the first Pirates of the Caribbean film on VHS. I still need to watch that. I've watched bits and pieces of it. I still need to finish that. As well, it's kind of spoiler for the next pickups video, I have the Doctor Who: A Trial of a Time Lord on VHS, and I fucking love it. You'll just have to wait for the next pickups video, which comes in the end of the month. So yeah, the Monkey asks, what film do you turn on the most when you're having a bad day? It depends on how bad the day is for me. But usually it would be my top three. Well, no, not even my top three. It'd either be, again, it'd have to depend on my mood, but I'll name some examples. Like, if I'm feeling in a bad way, I might put on, say, Star Trek First Contact, or I might put on Nowhere Boy. If I feel like I want to reminisce about my childhood, I might put something on from there, like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers film, or something like that. I might put on like a Marvel movie maybe, and again it depend. I haven't seen a lot of those yet. So it would really depend on what humor I'm in and what humor I'm in to watch at the same time. Because that was another issue I've had like up until recently when I started this channel a year ago was if I'd say I'd want to watch a movie and then I'd spend ages trying to pick the movie. Now I don't have that issue. If I want, because sometimes I might feel like I want to watch a movie that I haven't seen in a few years, like Lilo and Stitch, or Space Jam, or Kung Fu Panda. And then lately, I have been wanting to watch movies that I haven't seen before, like Jaws, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Van, The Guard, stuff like that. So it all really does have to depend on what humor I'm in and what humor I want to what I want to watch. So thanks for that question. That is a really good question. Danny says my first collection was all VHS, but I converted the whole wall and got rid of them all when DVD came out, and now I'm collecting again for VHS. Yes, I grew up on VHS. Um, that's what I watched a lot of stuff on repeat, like Thomas and the Magic Railroad, the Digimon movie. This is only going to be a thing for the Irish out there that are watching, if there is any. But Podge and Raj, A Scare at Bedtime, that is something I used to watch on VHS on repeat. So I grew up with VHS for a number of years, before I moved on to DVDs and stuff. So I didn't have a lot of VHS as a kid. I had more DVDs than anything, and not many Blu-rays until I got into collecting Blu-rays, and then of course now I have like almost 100 Blu-rays, maybe a little bit more now because I'm constantly buying Blu-ray upgrades for movies I already have on DVD. But yeah, let's see what else do we have. We have Danny says I'm going to watch First Contact and Generation today and to review them. I will definitely watch that, Danny. That sounds like a good idea. I have done a review for First Contact early on this year, a little bit after First Contact Day, funny enough. So yeah, I am looking forward to that video. I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. The monkey says, how do you feel about Pokemon since you grew up as a Yu-Gi-Oh fan? I love Pokemon. I fucking adore Pokemon. But I've gone through phases of where I've stopped playing it. So I got into Pokemon. Actually, speaking of Pokemon, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I'm listening to Pokemon Lo-Fi as I've been doing this stream. So yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear. I'll just put it back up a bit. I had lowered it down a bit. Anyway, back to your question. I love Pokemon. I got into Pokemon during the 4th generation of Pokemon, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, and I was an avid fan for a number of years. You know, I played Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. I played Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Then I played Black and White, and then I stopped. That was the first time I stopped playing Pokemon. Then I got back into Pokemon around X and Y, and I didn't like X and Y when it first came out, but you know, now nearly 10 years later, I actually enjoy it. I would love to get a 3DS and play it again, but Pokemon games are just stupidly expensive. And I used to have nearly a complete DS and 3DS set Pokemon games, but I stupidly traded them in. But then I stopped playing again at Sun and Moon. Then I really distanced myself from the Pokemon community when the King Nappy situation happened in 2019 with a bunch of PokeTubers. And then it wasn't until last year that I got back into it, and then I bought a Switch and I played all the Switch Pokemon games. I have Scarlet and Violet pre-ordered. I'm picking it up 9 a.m. on Friday, and I'm going to be playing it the entire weekend. I am trying my damned hardest to avoid spoilers. My fucking TikTok For You page has been full of them. And because of that, my block list is getting pretty big. So I've been trying to avoid as many spoilers as I can. And those that I do get spoiled on, I try to quickly forget. Except the only things that I do know is shinies for 2 Pokemon, which I'm not going to say because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But I love and adore Pokemon is the question. The monkey says, "What film have you picked up NCEX as a blind buy? Genuinely scared you?" I don't think I have one like that because like I said, I don't really collect horror that much, and it hasn't really been like I'd only collect movies that I've seen before or movies that I know I might like. I mean, there have been cases where I bought something and I didn't like, but nothing that's genuinely scared me. So, but thank you for the question. Ian says, "Sorry, Michael, got to go. My lunch is ready." My son says, "Enjoy your chat, and we'll try and organize better next time." Enjoy your lunch, and thank you for stopping in. Thank you for your question, and I hope you have a brilliant rest of your day. So make sure to go and subscribe to Ian. He's a fantastic YouTuber. I've chatted to him a bunch. He's really, really good. Bigger Doctor Who fan than me, I would say, since he's been around since the show started. Danny says, "Digimon, I love the first series and still got the Digivice to this day. I love watching Pokemon, but don't collect the cards as I sold them all for Yu-Gi-Oh cards." I love Digimon as well. I love the first series, and I love the movie. I actually own the movie. I'm looking at it right now, actually on my bookcase. I'm looking at the first movie right now. I love it. It's actually something that I loved as a kid that my mom actually got into with me. She loved Digimon as well. And I remember having like a big Agumon or Greymon plush. I think I had both actually. I think I had both an Agumon and a Greymon plush. So yeah, I did collect Pokemon cards as well. I gave them to my cousin, and but I do own a good few Pokemon cards now. Like my most prized possession is a Lucario X, level X card because Lucario is my favorite Pokemon of all time. If you want to know what my top favorite Pokemon, leave a comment and I'll answer it. Danny says, "I have a mate who had every Game Boy game boxed on Game Boy worth so much." They are. Like one of the Pokemon streamers that I follow called Mark Stockley, who's a shiny hunter. He is starting to buy back all of these stuff, and he's buying them like boxed in pretty good condition, and he's dropping a lot of money, mainly because he's Canadian, so Canadian prices are a lot higher. But yeah, it's he's definitely spending a hell of a lot. And if you're on Twitch, check out Mark Stockley if you like shiny hunting. He has some really good reactions. He's also on TikTok. So Danny says, "What is your favorite Pokemon minus Charizard?" Mine is Lucario. Ever since the movie Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, I fell in love with him. Any chance I get to have him on my team, he is on my team. And any playthrough, I'm happy that he's been brought into Scarlet and Violet because I can guarantee he is going to be on my team. So, yeah. The monkey says, "After you finish your Doctor Who collection, what TV show have you decided you want to start collecting next?" Star Trek. I want to start collecting, get more Star Trek because right now I have almost all the movies on both DVD and Blu-ray, but I want to start getting the TV shows because right now I have the complete Star Trek, the original series, in volumes that I like to call it because it has on each is like 28 volumes. Each one has like 3 episodes on it, but it's a complete series. I picked that up in a charity shop for €20, which translates to about £17, I think, doing off the top of my head. But I have I have the complete TOS. I have seasons 1 and 3, I believe, of the Next Generation. I have seasons 3, 5, and 7 of Deep Space Nine, and I have all of Enterprise. So I'm missing a good bit of it. So I definitely want to build up my Star Trek collection, because who knows how long I have left with them on Netflix at this rate. I'm surprised they still haven't been taken off of Netflix yet, now that we have, Paramount Plus here in the EU, which fuck Paramount. They're never getting my money again. Bastards. The monkey says mine is Jigglypuff. That's a pretty good choice. Pretty good shiny. I do like it shiny. Danny says I'll post some retro figures on my YouTube community page. Do that is something that I have been wanting. It's another something that I would love to get back in. Like love not to get back into, but love to start collecting. Is like old retro toys from the 80s. Like G1 Transformers, GI Joe, that type of stuff. Like there's a YouTube channel that I love watching that does that called The Game Chasers. They both go out looking for retro video games, but on their main series called The Game Chasers. They also have a side series called The Toy Chasers. So highly recommend it. They're two blubbering idiots, but they're funny blubbering idiots. And then Masters of the 80s says, as a collector, is there one specific movie genre you enjoy collecting more than others? That is definitely an interesting question, because I have been thinking about this recently enough. Sorry, my throat is starting to hurt a bit from all this talking. But looking at my collection, I have a lot more animated movies than I do anything else. Animated and comedies, stuff like that. That's basically what I essentially grew up on. Whenever I could go see them in cinema, or even have it on DVD or VHS, or whenever they would be on Sky or UPC, whatever cable provider I had at that time. But I definitely think it's a lot more animated than that I would have. Not as much Disney though, as I'm not big into Disney. Like I'd say I'm more into Pixar than Disney. But yeah, I'd definitely say it is more animated. Thank you for the question. And we have another few comments here. Danny says, have you seen my Star Trek collection? It took me 3 years to buy secondhand from CEX. I don't think I have. I'll definitely have to go and watch that after this stream, because I'm very interested to see what you have in your collection. The monkey says, good question, Master of 80s. It was a very good question. And we have Played Tendo Guy here. Afternoon, Michael. Hello, Pete. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming. Hope you're having a good Sunday. And thank you once again for having me on your stream early on this week. It was a very good 5-hour stream. I'm not used to it, as I'm only used to doing 2 hours with AJ and Matt. The monkey asked, how is my battery life now? It's actually not doing too bad. It's at 34%. So I say I might actually get the full 2 hours out of this, which is normally what happens if I don't charge my phone when I do these lives. When I've done lives with AJ and Matt, from about when my phone would be about 80 or 70%, it would get down to about 20% by the time the 2 hours is up. And that is all the questions for right now, or I should say comments for right now. So yeah, as I said, upcoming content for this month is tomorrow. I have a video coming out where I count down my top 5 favorite starships from Star Trek. The list will surprise you. Actually, it will definitely surprise Star Trek fans out there that a certain ship class isn't even on my list. Oh, certain 2 ship classes, I should say, that you would expect to be on there, that they aren't. On Wednesday, I have a unscripted review. So I'm just trying to push the stash hair out of my mouth. But on Wednesday, I have a video an unscripted review going up where I talk about the film Parked, which I mentioned early on in stream. Fantastic Irish film. It stars Colm Meaney in it, as well as the actor who played Merlin in the BBC TV show Merlin. So, and then on Friday, as I said, I have a Jaws unscripted review. The monkey is happy to see Pete in here, and they also says, "Can I tell you my favorite Star Trek ship?" Have at it, mate. I'm very interested to know what your favorite ship is. And then not this week coming, but the following week, the week of the 21st, I'll be on the 3 videos that I have planned. I have a video talking about how it's going to be my 1 year on this channel, which it is on the 22nd, and then on the 23rd for Doctor Who's 59th anniversary, I do have a video coming out where I review the Unearthly Child story. So it's definitely, and it's an interesting one. It's one that I filmed a good couple of months back, and when my beard wasn't as prominent as it is now, I trimmed it a bit. So yeah, it was filmed way back then. And then on Friday, the 25th, I have a very special live DVD and Blu-ray hunting video coming out, as I'm actually filming that tomorrow. So when I have filmed my live DVD and Blu-ray hunts, I live in a small town, so I do it there. I film in my small town. There's very few charity shops and a very small CEX. So I've been noticing lately I'm not getting as much finds as I used to. I might come home with two or three movies or TV shows compared to a couple of months back when I'd come home with more than that. So I tomorrow should be taking a trip up to Dublin to go hunting there. And funny thing, what I love about the CEX app is I can look up what certain stores have for inventory, and I looked at two stores, the CEX on Georgia Street and CEX in Liffey Street, Dublin, and I had just looked at the Blu-rays, and I don't think the money I'm going up with is going to be enough. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of movies that are there that I want. I'm going to need to have impulse control because I could easily blow my money on those 2 stores and not even go anywhere near a charity shop. So it's very dangerous, but it's going to be fun. I'm going to hope to film enough footage to maybe split it off into 2 parts, but you'll have to wait and see for that. So anyway, let's get back to some questions. The monkey says the one Quark and Cisco take to the planet they crash on. The Runabout, is that the one you're on about? Is that the Runabout or the Defiant class? One of those 2. Danny says, hi, Pete. Masters of the 80s says, do you collect movies from any of the boutique companies, i.e. Arrow Video, Idiot Film, etc.? No, is the honest answer. I don't. Simply because those in CEX can be a bit expensive, more than what I would be willing to pay, essentially. And a lot of the ones that they're putting out are movies that I haven't seen before, that I probably should, if they are getting these special Arrow, Criterion, etc. releases. To be honest, I never even heard of them until recently through the movie TikTok people that I follow over on TikTok, which, if you don't know, I do have a TikTok. It is in the link of every video, not this live, but I'll fix that at the end of it, at the end of this live. But I would like to try and collect some of them because they do have some pretty nice releases, and some of the cases and the artwork looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I would definitely be interested to pick up some of them, but the price would have to be right for me, as I am a very broke ass bitch, and how I've amassed nearly 600 DVD and Blu-ray collection on such a small budget beats the ever living fuck out of me. But I've done it. So Danny says, I'm not sure if you heard of Brighton, but I have enough data. I'm trying to go live there. I have heard of Brighton. I don't know much about it, but I think correct me if I'm wrong, it is a pretty nice place. Danny also says, I love comedy and sci-fi. To never been huge on horror, but will try and make the effort in watching them. I'm sort of like that as well. Like I said, I watched A Nightmare on Elm Street for Halloween just because I wanted to watch a Halloween type movie, a horror movie. I wouldn't necessarily class Jaws as horror. I don't think AJ would as well, but I definitely don't class it as horror. Because I only had one jump scare really in the entire movie. But yeah, it's one that I'm not really too keen to delve further into. I might try and watch some of the Saw movies though. They might seem a little bit more interesting to me. Well, we will see as well. So let's see what else is coming up. So yeah, that brings us up to towards the end of November. There's going to be part 2 to my pickups video that I done part 1 to this week already. This past Wednesday. Oh wow, yeah, I've that video, that first one was it was 30 minutes long from just 1 week, and part 2 is already 35 minutes. I'm only going up to Dublin tomorrow. I already have other pickups filmed, but that's now for a separate pickups video that's already 18 minutes long. My pickups videos are getting longer and longer the more I'm doing them month by month basis instead of weekly or bi-weekly like I used to. It's I definitely need to address that in the new year, but there's only going to be 2 more pickups videos for this year. The end of November and middle of December is more. We have Video Tasties in the house. Hello, thank you for coming in. I enjoy watching your VHS collection, the videos that you do, especially knowing that there's some changes to movies from VHS to say DVD or streaming. Like I knew on one of his videos that I commented on, I knew of the change for the Lilo and Stitch movie, but I did not know that there was the change with Toy Story 2. If you don't know, go check out Video Tasties. He's a great channel. He got to interview the director of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. So yeah, that was pretty wild. Danny says, "Lol, I meant to go live on YouTube in Brighton." Brighton. Okay, that's pretty good. The monkey says, out of the Star Trek women, who would you pick to marry? I'd pick the one Kira who was surgically implanted to look like as I thought she was played by the actress my age. My pick is going to be Kate Mulgrew. It's that smile. It's that down smile and those puppy dog eyes that she does in Voyager. Hell, even now she can get it. I just love Kate Mulgrew in general. She's my favorite female captain. She's my second favorite captain of all time. I just love her. I can't get enough of her in Prodigy. If it is just Hollow Janeway or Admiral Janeway, doesn't matter. As soon as she's on screen, I'm a smile because I just love Janeway so much. The monkeys happy to see Video Tasties. And Video Tasty says cheers for the shout out, which, like I said, do go check him out. The dude got to interview the director of Wrath of Khan. That's huge props on me. Like, I didn't end up watching the stream, but I've seen bits and pieces of it, and yeah, it's mad props to Video Tasties for even getting that interview. Dowie says, in the Star Trek ranks, which would you be? For me, would be a lieutenant commander for engineer. I don't know. Well, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I'd like to be captain or admiral." I'd be fine if I was, I wouldn't necessarily say lower decks either, given what we see, what menial jobs they have to do in lower decks. I'd say I'd either be like you in engineering or in tactical. One of those two. As I'd say probably either as a lieutenant or lieutenant commander. Definitely, I'd say I'd be one of those, and either the engineer division or tactical. Not too sure if I'd fit well in the science division or even the medical division. Especially with medical, definitely wouldn't do well in that. Especially with I have bad eye-hand coordination, so you would not want me to perform surgery on you. I can tell you that much. The monkey says, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Janeway aged badly in the show Orange is the New Black as Red the Cook. I agree. I can kind of agree with, as Orange is the New Black went on, she didn't look the best. But now, seeing her in interviews, she looks a lot better. I have to say, she does look a hell of a lot better. So, yeah, Janeway holds a special place in my heart. I say my next pick would probably be Jeri Ryan as 7 of 9. She still looks fantastic. I'm loving, I love seeing her in the Picard series. I'm very happy now that in Picard season 3 she's now a commander, which she should have been at the start. But I still love the arc that she's gone through in that. This is My Life says, who is your favorite Doctor in Star Trek? Mine is the one from Voyager. I'm the same. I do love the EMH, or Joe, as he is referred to in the deleted timeline in Endgame. Yeah, I do love the EMH. Last night, I was actually, whilst I was having a Chinese, I rewatched Message in the Bottle, the season 4 episode in Voyager with the EMH Mark 1 and the EMH Mark 2. Still holds up as a fantastic episode. So that is my pick. My second favorite, I'd have to say, would be Bashir, Julian Bashir. The more I watched Deep Space Nine and the more his character developed, the more I fell in love with him. And the more we learned of his story, the more I loved him even more. But no, it's definitely Robert Picardo as the EMH from Voyager is my favorite one. So what's coming up in December then? As I'm, going back to talking about future content. There's going to be a lot more unscripted reviews coming. They will be in Christmas style, because I'm not doing a big Christmas video as I initially planned to do. I might do that next year. I just didn't leave myself with enough time to do that, unfortunately. So I'll definitely do that in the new next year. But there's going to be a lot of unscripted reviews, and then I do have a Christmas special in mind. But I'm not going to say what that is just yet. And the monkey says, my favorite emergency program episode is the one where he's in the Beowulf episode. I have mixed feelings about that episode, really. I think it was all right. It's definitely not his best. I think his best with the EMH, his best episode was the episode where he creates his own hollow family, and how he initially builds it to be, you know, the perfect family where nothing goes wrong, and then Torres messes with it with the software a bit and changes the family dynamics and how that plays out, and that ending, that fucking ending, that is my favorite. Danny says, if you have to stop at DS9, would you pay Quark or take the Defiant for a joyride? I would stop into Quarks, definitely. I mean, you have to go into Quarks for two reasons. No, not two reasons, just one reason. Say hello to Morn. You know, hear some of that life wisdom that Morn has to say and what he is able, you know, able to give and stuff like that. Honestly, I'd love to go on the Defiant. It is a pretty. I do like the design of the ship. It's not. It's the Defiant is definitely in my top 10 for sure. But it's nowhere compared to what my top 5 is, which you'll have to wait until tomorrow to find that one out. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. as is my usual upload time. So before I end off this stream, because you know there's about a half hour left, about not even half hour, 24 minutes left of stream. I am going to tell you guys a funny story. After this question, what holo program would you choose and what holodeck? I'd go for a holosuite on DS9. As for the holo story that I'd go for, that's a little difficult, because there are so many good stories. I wouldn't mind doing a Captain Proton one. I definitely would do a Captain Proton story and the holosuite in DS9. Definitely, you know, with Tom Paris and Harry Kim. I definitely knew one of those holodeck stories. Those seem fun. Anyway, so I have a very interesting story to tell you guys. So if I don't respond to any comments whilst I'm telling this story, I do apologize, but just know that I do appreciate all the comments that I've gotten for this live. I really did not think I'd get as much comments as I have to have lasted the near 2 hours. But this story is not about me. No, this story is about my mother and her time in school. So this is so this goes back to the 80s. And my mother went into a school here that was ran by the church, essentially the Catholic Church, because that's what a lot of schools are around where I live. They're kind of somewhat owned by the church, the Catholic Church. Anyway, so she goes into first year. First year is the first year of secondary school or high school. Is the best way I can call it, because we call it first, second, third, fifth, and sixth year, with the potential to do a transition year after third year. So she goes into first year, and for math class, she has this teacher that is notorious for hating on first years. And so he comes in, and he goes into class that my mom's in, and he looks at them, and he says, I fucking hate you lot. Fucking despise first years. And obviously everyone's afraid of him because of the stories that they have heard. So he starts taking roll, and he gets to my mother's name. But he doesn't necessarily call out my mother's name properly. He says, is Birdie here? Because in case you don't know, my last name is Bird. And silence. Mom doesn't say anything. And so he's like, is Birdie not here? Where's Birdie? Is Birdie not here? And at that point, everyone looks over to my mom. And she's looking back at him. And he's like, Birdie, why didn't you answer me? So my mom looks up to him and says, because I was christened, not pissed on. And after my mom said that to him, he got the biggest smile on his face. And he's like, finally, finally someone had the balls to stick up to me. And after that, they became the best of friends, as much as it can be with teachers and students. So now let's fast forward a few years into fifth year, because not only was this teacher a maths teacher, he was a history teacher. And my mom happened to have him for history in fifth year, because they'd gotten on so well in that. And so during one of the lessons, they're learning about the Spanish Civil War. And so he asks a question to everyone and says, so tell me, who is General Tito? My mom's hand goes up. And what I should mention here is my mother is a massive Michael Jackson fan. She was obsessed with him, knew practically everything about him. And so the history teacher gets a big smile and says, Sandra. Sandra's my mom's name, by the way. And he's like, Sandra, can you please tell me who General Tito is? And without skipping a beat, my mother says, Michael Jackson's brother. The entire classroom erupts into laughter. And so this teacher then picks up the duster, to dust off the chalkboards, threw it at my mom. My mom picks it up, throws it back at him. And this then devolves into them throwing things back and forward to each other. And it got to the point then where he picks up his chair to throw it at her. And at that point, everyone, because they were watching all this happening, all the other students, moved out of the way, except for my mom. She was just there sitting like, and before he could throw it, he probably wasn't going to throw it. He's probably going to fake it. There's a knock on the door. And it's the principal, who is a nun, by the way. And so how she found out about this is because that history class was right next, say the history class was here. The principal's was right there. So the principal had clear view to see all of this unfold, of the throwing back and forward. So let's just say he got a verbal yelling, my mother got away scot-free. And that is a story that I like to tell to some people. And I've been kind of wanting to say that on AJ's stream, but I just didn't want to take over on that. So I thought I may as well do it towards the end of my stream. So I do see 3 more comments here. So Danny says, if you're stuck on a Klingon on the Klingon homeworld, what would you do there? Or if you had to eat their food, go hungry instead? I would probably go hungry instead, because I would not be able to stomach any of their foods whatsoever. It's worms and stuff. No. I'm a picky eater. I'd rather starve to death than try and eat some of that stuff. Danny also says, my history teacher used to shout at us for no reason. He loved to make people jump. I've had a few teachers like that, definitely over my time. And then Danny says, I have all Michael Jackson songs on CD. I own a good few from her. The Monkey says, that story is pretty similar to the beginning of the 5 Minutes of Sister Act. I do love Sister Act, but yeah, that's just a story that my mom told me, and any chance I'd get her to tell it. But unfortunately, she passed away 5 years ago. I've been reminiscing, so I've kind of wanted to relive that story with all of yous here on stream. So we are getting very close now to the 2-hour mark. So if you have any more questions that you want to ask for the next 15 minutes, feel free to comment some and I will try my best to respond. As we get close to the end. Sorry. The monkey says, my history teacher shagged the students, he's now in prison. Yeah, that would do it. That would do it. Danny says, my dad's been dead 15 years now. I'm sorry for your loss. It's very hard to lose a parent. I'm still struggling on 5 years later, so I can only imagine what it's like for you 15 years on. So yeah, if you have any questions about future content or just anything movie related, do leave a comment. Some of the ideas that I'm toying with in the new year is I'm definitely going to be doing more Doctor Who mega reviews like I did at the beginning of this year, where I reviewed at that time all of Jodie Whittaker's era, as well as I then, obviously early on this year, I reviewed Series 1 of Modern Doctor Who. I see Pure Hangout is here. Hello, thank you for coming. You've come at the tail end of the stream as we are getting to it. This Danny says hi to Pure Hangouts. The monkey says, as in November, what is your favorite Thanksgiving film? I don't think I've seen any like Thanksgiving related films. I mean, I've seen a handful of episodes of the Thanksgiving. I think I've seen all the Thanksgiving episodes of Friends and How I Met Your Mother. So I'll answer it as like if it's like expanding on to a TV show. My favorite Thanksgiving TV show episode obviously is Slapsgiving 1 or Slapsgiving 2, Electric Boogaloo from How I Met Your Mother. Morning from the States, that is. Hello, thank you for coming. If you aren't subscribed to Pure Hangout, do. He posts some amazing content. I know recently he's been reviewing the latest season of The Crown, but he also does kind of list-based videos where he picks 3 random movies and tries to rank them. So definitely do recommend you go check him out. Pure Hangout says the 90s show Roseanne had some great Thanksgiving episodes. I haven't really seen Roseanne. I've seen clips of it, but I haven't actually watched the TV show. I think we enjoy very, very similar taste in TV, Michael. How I Met Your Mother, I switched 9F as it was a very if it was very good as Friends. Yeah, I love how I'm not a big fan of Friends anymore. But I definitely do love How I Met Your Mother. It's one that I've rewatched from start to finish at least 3 times. I'm slowly trying to buy them on DVD or Blu-ray if I can. The monkey says, Gareth made mine Pines. Okay, I'll definitely give those a good check. If I can just talk right, I'll definitely give those a look-see in the future. Pure Hanger says appreciate the shout out, no problem. Danny says I have The Crown. I heard The Crown was really good series. Never seen it though. I watched the first 3 episodes and I never went back to it. It's kind of like me with Game of Thrones. Like 5 years ago, I watched the first 25 minutes of the very first episode of Game of Thrones. I said, this seems interesting enough. Let me come back to it later. It's been 5 years and I haven't gone back to it at all. So that just goes to show that. Daddy says I picked up How I Met Your Mother for 30 quid and HMV. Not sure if it's still the same price. That's pretty decent enough. I'm picking it up season by season in CEX as they're pretty cheap, you know, about €1 to €2. Daddy says Game of Thrones I've never watched. the first episode. I watched the first episode, never liked it. I thought it was all right. I never finished it, so I can't really comment much myself. The Monkey Says The Crown made me sad. The first season is depressing. The husband is an ass. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Like, I know Matt Smith plays him, the 11th Doctor, and he is a very good actor. So from the clips that I am seeing appear on my TikTok, he definitely does seem like an ass. The Monkey Says, hated Jon Snow, may he rot in hell. I've definitely heard mixed feelings on Jon Snow's character, as well as a lot of characters in there. Danny also says Quantum Leap, the original series, is the best. I agree. I haven't watched it in full, but I have seen a handful of episodes, like with the Highlander TV show. I still have yet to watch the movie, but I have seen a handful of episodes of the TV series. So yeah, we're getting close now to the end of the show. I've been saying that now for a bit, but yeah. So more content that is going to be coming in the new year. As I said, I'm going to try and do that Tales of the Backlog series, where I pick a movie and try as I slowly try and chip away at the my never ending backlog that continues to grow every day. That I keep discovering new movies. I'm like, oh, I should add that onto the list, or oh, I should keep an eye out for that, and maybe try and buy the DVD or Blu-ray for it. I mean, like anytime I'm in town as well, I'm buying at least something. The Monkey Says there can only be one. As far as new content, can you take a trip to Abbey Road? I would love to, because I am a Beatles fan. I would love to go visit all of these places, but I'll see. I'll have to see in the future what if I am able to do. I do plan to go over to England in the next year or so. Do a bit of hunting over there. Might meet up with a few people there, like AJ, Matt, Danny as well. So I'll have to try and plan that out first. But I definitely do want to go and visit all these famous Beatles landmarks, so to say. Because like I grew up with the Beatles. I loved and adored the Beatles. I'm constantly finding new favorite songs. And hell, even when I done music for my exams, my final year exams, we had to study 3 songs from the Sgt. Pepper's album, and I found a good few favorites from there. Like I don't own all of the Beatles albums. I think it's the Greatest Hits, Sgt. Pepper, Abbey Road, which was a recent pickups, and Revolver. I actually found Revolver CD, not vinyl. I picked up Revolver in a charity shop, and the Monkey says, "May I recommend a movie to you?" Absolutely, go right ahead. Suggest as many movies to me as you want. I'm always open to as many suggestions as possible. I definitely need to build up a list of movie suggestions so I know what to look out for when I'm going out and hunting in the future. So yeah, definitely anyone that's still in stream that wants to give me movie suggestions, I can either leave it in the live chat or in the comments after this stream has ended. Across the universe, if you've seen it, what do you think? It rings a bell. I don't think I've seen it though, but I'll definitely keep an eye out for it in the future, and I will definitely watch it, and I will let you know what I think. So yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out for that in the future. So I am really looking forward to going up to Dublin tomorrow to do some hunting up there, to see what I can find in charity shops and other CEX stores, because mine is very, very small. Like my local CEX is small. Like I've seen a few of the stores up in Dublin. They're like 2 stories high. Mine isn't. Mine is just a very small, cramped area. Um, the monkey says, "I promise I'll be your new favorite go-to movie." I'll definitely need to don a pirate hat and eye patch to check out Across the Universe, but I'll definitely give it a go. Probably tonight, maybe not, or maybe early on in the evening. I'll definitely let you know what I think. Hell, it might even be a bonus, unscripted review, uh, between now and the new year. So I'll definitely let you know what I think of it. So now that we're down to like the final 6 minutes, thank you all for making this a very fun first stream. Danny says my CEX are small shops to used to bigger. Yeah, like mine is just a small one, but from the few that I've seen in Dublin, even in shopping centres and Northside where I used to do college, is a hell of a lot bigger than mine. I can tell you that much. Whereas you can't fit 2 people on like going down one of the aisles, and hell, even the selection is small. Like you have going into it, you'll see PS4/PS5, Xbox One/Series X, Switch, Blu-ray, DVD, and the €1 movie section, and then they have like the other stands that has PS3, PS2, Xbox 360, PSP, and Xbox. Then on the other side, got Wii U, not N64, GameCube, and that. And here is my IRL friend. Thank you for coming in. You came in as the stream is about to end, but thank you regardless for hopping in. It's great seeing you again yesterday. Sorry for picking on you as much as I did yesterday. This is My Life says, it's been a fantastic live stream for our first one. Keep them coming and keep going strong. Have fun in Dublin. I watch your videos after work tomorrow night. Thank you. As I said, the live DVD and Blu-ray hunt will be coming out on the 25th. So I'm filming it tomorrow, but it'll definitely come up in the future. It says, "Oh no, don't be sorry, man. No worries." I definitely will be doing more streams soon. I'm going to try and make sure that I don't conflict with AJ's and Matt's live chats, and then I'll also try to get more people on in the future. And who knows, I might even extend it beyond the 2 hours that I'm currently toying with. Because I can tell you something as well. Back in 2020, I tried doing live streaming on Twitch for as like a video that is on this or privated on this channel, and by the 40-minute mark I would be dead quiet whilst playing Skyrim. But compared to here, I'm obviously been managing to continue to talk for the 2 hours. I can even feel it in my throat. Danny says that don't stream too often. Most likely once a month. I might do it once a month, or I might, but I'll see how my schedule goes. Because I might even do like a midweek stream instead of a Saturday or Sunday stream. Because my content, how I do my content is normally I upload Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I might do it where alternate Wednesdays is a live stream, but I'll also need to make sure that I don't conflict with Playtendo guys streams. So it'll definitely be like an early stream around 11 or 12, or something like that. But we'll see. But I am getting close to the end now. Excuse me, had a bit of a burp hiccup. But thank you to everyone who's commented. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for coming out to the stream, and I will catch you guys in tomorrow for another brand new video. And real quick, Daddy says, but now I start going outside live series where I document places. I don't go often, but I see how it goes. Yeah, I have seen those. I haven't watched any of them yet, but I'll definitely check them out. But that brings us to 2 o'clock. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you all for the comments. I really appreciate it. And I will catch you all tomorrow for another brand new video and at some point for the next stream. So I'll see you all next time.